Hand on heart, do you think he's played his last game for Liverpool?
I have no clue.
It took exactly 120 days for a footballing empire to crumble into dust. The defending Premier League champions, a team that was lifting the trophy with swagger just 6 months ago, are now staring directly into the abyss of a mid-table finish. The atmosphere around the club has shifted from celebration to toxicity faster than anyone could have predicted. And if you needed proof that the situation is past the point of no return, you only had to listen to Mohamed Salah speaking in this interview.
I'm very disappointed. Seems like a club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I felt it. Someone doesn't want me in the club. I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship.
He didn't just give an interview, he dropped a bomb on the entire institution. When the most important player in your modern history, a man who is basically a king in the city of Liverpool, looks into a television camera and tells the world that his relationship with the manager is broken, that is not just a complaint, that is a declaration of war. Salah's words were calm, calculated, and absolutely devastating. But I believe there's more to that situation than what meets the eye. Something shady is going on upstairs. Neither Mo nor Slot is safe. This interview was seismic. It wasn't actually an interview. It was a resignation letter. But the question is, was it his resignation, or was he forcing the board to accept the managers? To truly understand how we got to this point of total disaster, we have to go back to the summer. We have to remember the feeling in the air during August, because context is everything. This was not supposed to be a season of struggle. This was supposed to be the start of a dynasty. Liverpool had just won the league in the 2024-25 season. The mood was sky high. And then, they decided to flex their financial muscles in a way we have never seen before. The transfer window that Liverpool executed was the stuff of fantasy. It looked like something a teenager would do on a video game with an unlimited budget. They spent over £400 million. Just think about that number. That is the GDP of a small island nation spent on 3 or 4 football players. They brought in Florian Wirtz, the German wonderkid who was supposed to be the best creative midfielder of his generation. They signed Alexander Isak, the most elegant and dangerous striker in the Premier League, stealing him from Newcastle. They added Milos Kerkez to bring fire and speed to the wings. When the window closed, pundits were not asking if Liverpool would challenge for the title. They were asking if anyone could possibly stop them. It felt like they had bought the league title before a ball was even kicked. The arrogance was palpable. But football has a very cruel way of punishing arrogance. What nobody at the club realized in the heat of the summer was that you cannot simply buy a team. You have to build it. By chasing the biggest, shiniest names on the market, Liverpool accidentally sold their soul. They replaced the chemistry that won them the league with expensive car parts that simply do not fit into the engine. And now, as the winter cold sets in, there is no structure to hide behind. There is no team spirit to save them. There are just 11 extremely rich, extremely talented strangers wearing the same red shirt, looking at each other for answers that simply do not exist. But we cannot talk about the transfers or the tactics without talking about the human element first. Because this collapse did not start on a tactics board or in a negotiation room. It started with a tragedy that ripped the heart out of the dressing room. The sudden and tragic death of Diogo Jota in July stopped time at Anfield. We often forget that football players are human beings. We treat them like robots who produce stats for our entertainment. But Diogo Jota was not just a goal scorer. He was a friend. He was a father. He was the quiet, professional glue that held different groups in the squad together. He linked the old legends like Van Dijk and Salah to the new generation coming through. Losing him so suddenly and so tragically created a void that no amount of money could fill. The psychological impact of that event is the dark cloud that has hung over the entire season. When the whistle blew for the opening game of the season against Bournemouth, a game they barely managed to win, the reaction told you everything. Mohamed Salah was not celebrating the 3 points. He was standing in the centre circle, crying. Virgil van Dijk, a man who usually looks like he is made of stone, looked completely hollow and empty during his post-match interview. The grief was raw and it was real. Arne Slot tried his best to handle it. He said all the right things in the press conferences. He talked about playing in Diogo's memory. He talked about using the pain as fuel. But grief does not work like that. The players are not just physically tired, they are emotionally exhausted. Instead of being a father figure who could put an arm around them and rebuild their spirit, Slot kept his cold and blunt tactician vibe, and losing out Heitinga to Ajax made everything worse. That disconnect between the manager and the players started in those early weeks. and it has only grown wider every single day. And this brings us to the actual football, which has been nothing short of a catastrophe. Even if you ignore the grief and the emotion, what Arne Slot is doing on the pitch is practically sabotage.
Liverpool have lost 9 out of 12 games.
Any Liverpool fan that is not fully Arne Slot out at this point is an enemy of Liverpool. You hate Liverpool, you want Liverpool to die because Arne Slot is killing Liverpool and you are supporting him.
The new signings, the Galacticos, that cost £400 million, have not just struggled, they have been set up to fail by a system that refuses to play to their strengths. Let's look at Alexander Isak first. This is a striker who is like a Ferrari. He is fast, he is sleek, and he needs an open road to show his speed. He thrives on running behind defenders, using his long strides to break away and finish calmly. He's also exceptional at link-up play, but with this space always filled with Liverpool's midfielders means that this part of his game has been completely overshadowed. Arne Slot is driving this Ferrari like it is a tractor. He is asking Isak to play with his back to the goal. He wants him to hold off big defenders, control the ball, and wait for midfielders to join him. That is not really Isak's game. You are taking one of the most dangerous transition players in the world and asking him to be a stationary target man. It is painful to watch. Isak looks frustrated every time the ball comes near him because he knows he is in the wrong position. He has been benched multiple times this season, not only because he is playing badly, but also because the manager is not capable of changing the system to fit the £150 million striker.
Just want you to have a look at this scar on my chest.
What is that?
It is a scar from a heart transplant. So about 5 years ago, my heart stopped working, like Alexander Isak this summer.
C'est pas possible.
Then look at Florian Wirtz. At his old club, Bayer Leverkusen, Wirtz was a ghost. He drifted into pockets of space. He went left, he went right, he dropped deep. He was impossible to mark because he had freedom. The problem is that Dominik Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister also like to occupy those spaces, so you have at least 2 of your best creative players literally bumping into each other during games. They are stepping on each other's toes. Wirtz looks confused. He looks stifled, like a player who is wondering why he ever left Germany. And it is the same story with Milos Kerkez. He was signed because he is a fireball of energy who loves to attack down the wing. But Slot wants him to play like a midfielder. He asks him to invert, and Kerkez clearly does not know how to do this. Every time he receives the ball in the middle, he looks terrified. He takes a touch, panics, and plays a safe pass backward. He is playing with fear because he is being asked to do a job he does not understand. Cody Gakpo's attacking profile as a winger is less fluid and dynamic than Antoine Semenyo, which sort of messes with Kerkez's ability to overlap and stretch the pitch. He's been struggling to adapt into Liverpool's backline as well. His teammates don't seem to trust him, and that triggered calling Liverpool's veteran from the bench. Ekitike has shown glimpses of brilliance, but it was more of an individual effort rather than a system working. Liverpool are playing with square pegs in round holes all over the pitch, and the result is a disjointed mess. This tactical confusion has destroyed the confidence of the old guard as well. Virgil van Dijk has been the best defender in the world for years, but right now he looks like a rookie. He is hesitating in challenges he used to win in his sleep. His positioning is off. He looks like a man who does not trust the players around him. Beside him, Ibrahima Konate is a consistent disaster waiting to happen. He is making mistakes almost every single game. Rash tackles, missed headers, simple passes, going out of play. The defense, which was once a fortress, is now leaking goals for fun. Opposing teams are not scared of Liverpool anymore. They see the gaps, they see the confusion, and they are ruthless. The midfield, which was the engine room of the title win last season, has completely stalled. Alexis McAllister looks like he is running in mud. Ryan Gravenberch, who had a breakout season last year, has gone backwards. He drifts through games almost without touching the ball. And Szoboszlai, who is usually a machine of energy, looks lost in the tactical fog. And worse, he is occasionally filling in for Trent at the right-back position. Without a functioning midfield, the defense is exposed 5 or 6 times a game. They are facing 3-on-2 counter-attacks constantly. No defense in the world can survive that.
Anyone now will beat Liverpool. Anyone. Literally anyone.
Any manager with results like that, as you said, if they were part of the bottom 4 or a promoted team, would be under pressure.
How are you conceding 4 goals at home to PSV Eindhoven?
We need to cut the problem now. The Slot has to leave now before it gets worse.
The recent 4-1 defeat to PSV Eindhoven at Anfield was the moment the dam broke. It wasn't just a loss, It was a humiliation. Liverpool were torn apart at home in the Champions League. They were pretending to press, stepping up individually while leaving massive holes behind them. PSV cut through them like a hot knife through butter. The fans at Anfield, who are usually the most loyal in the world, started leaving the stadium with 20 minutes left to play. That image of empty red seats while the game was still going on was shocking. It was the fans voting with their feet. They had seen enough. They knew that this was not just a bad night, it was a broken system. But the cracks on the pitch are nothing compared to the war happening off it. The noise from the media has been deafening, and nobody is louder than Jamie Carragher. The former Liverpool defender turned pundit has been hammering the team for weeks. We all saw the clip that went viral during the PSV game. The camera cut to the CBS studio just as Liverpool conceded the fourth goal. Carragher was on his phone, looking furious, and you could clearly hear him mouthing the words,
I've been offered him, honestly, like that kind of, I mean, that's a sackable offence. The manager keep picking him. He should be sacked for that.
He has been ruthless. He came after Van Dijk. He has called the midfield soft. But his main target, the person he goes after every single week, is Mohamed Salah.
A year ago this weekend, Mo Salah wasn't shy in coming out and speaking about his own situation, about the club not offering him a contract. I only ever hear Salah speak when he gets man of the match or he needs a new contract. I'd like to see Mo Salah come out as one of the leaders, one of the legends of Liverpool, come out and speak for the team.
The decision to bench Salah against Leeds United was the final nail in the coffin. You are playing away from home at Elland Road. It is a hostile, loud atmosphere. You managed to take a 2-0 lead, but the game is not over. You need control. You need experience. You need the fear factor that Salah brings. And yet, Arne Slot left his best player sitting on the bench. It defies all logic. When Leeds scored their first goal to make it 2-1, the panic set in. When they equalised in the 89th minute to make it 2-2, the camera didn't zoom in on the goalscorer. It zoomed in on Salah's face on the bench. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. He just looked at the pitch with a look that said, I told you so. It was the look of a man who knew that his absence proved his value more than his presence ever could. That draw felt like a defeat. It felt like the end of the road. And then after the game, while Slot was once again confirming that he's not able to deal with opposition's long balls in his press conference, Mo Salah exploded.
Seems like a club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I felt it. Seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club.
Mo Salah's words sent shockwaves around the globe and started a civil war in Anfield.
I don't blame him, that's all. He's not, he's being made to be a scapegoat.
No team has a player that deserves, you've got to play for that place. And this season, he hasn't been playing for that place. He should be on the bench.
It's an unwritten rule, it's forbidden, you shouldn't do it, and now he's created chaos within the club.
As a Liverpool player, doesn't matter who you are, you've got to earn the right to play in the first 11.
Mohamed Salah or Arne Slot. It has now got to the stage where there is a binary choice. It is only Mohamed Salah or Arne Slot.
I thought it was a disgrace. Before he come to Liverpool, Mo Salah was known as the guy who failed at Chelsea.
I want to talk about now, you're trying to malign the greatest Liverpool player and say he's a reject at Egypt and a reject at thingy, and trying to portray Salah as a greedy player. You tell me which player Salah hasn't provided for over the last 8 years. Nunes, Mane, Bobby, you name it, he's provided him for it.
But at the same time, it might have served another purpose for FSG, or perhaps two purposes. Before we talk about FSG, I don't want you to be distracted from what was happening prior to that point. Just a week before, every Liverpool fan started considering sacking Slot. But is that harsh on the Dutch tactician? Honestly, no. Arne Slot is really struggling, and he's not able to find a proper structure for that team. Have you listened to his press conferences? He sounds like a man who is drowning. He is trying to explain complex tactical reasons for the failure, but he sounds like he is trying to solve a math problem while his house is burning down. He talks about structure and intensity and patience, but he does not have any of those things. The tactical data is horrifying. Liverpool's pressing intensity has dropped to mid-table levels. They are not winning the ball back high up the pitch anymore. Their expected goals against is in the bottom third of the league. These are not opinions. These are hard facts. The team is in freefall, and the manager is refusing to pull the parachute. And now we have to talk about the owners, FSG. They are business people. They run Liverpool like a corporation. And right now, the corporation is failing badly. They can tolerate bad results for a few months if they see a plan. They can tolerate a transition period, but the one thing they will not tolerate is a public civil war that damages the brand. When the face of your global business goes on national television and effectively declares war on the manager, The board has to act. It is a binary choice. Option A is you sack Mohamed Salah, you sell the greatest winger in Premier League history, the man who is the idol of millions, and you back the manager who won the league and currently has the team in the bottom half of the table. Option B is you sack the manager and keep the legend, but set a dangerous precedent of player power seizing control. It is a difficult choice to make.
I think ultimately, unfortunately, both have to go. And that's the way I genuinely feel about this. Both have to go. It will likely be Salah first, but for me, it's just a distraction from what's actually happening.
The paperwork for Arne Slot's dismissal is likely already being printed, whether it's now or later. The dreadful performances were bad enough. The tactical confusion was bad enough. But losing the dressing room and causing an open rebellion from the star player, that is probably the end, unless Michael Edwards and co are pulling strings behind the curtains to get rid of the Egyptian. The board as well definitely has blood on their hands, the signing of 2 strikers for nearly £200 million, while having shortages in the number 6 position and the wings. The summer signings were real headliners, but to be honest, they didn't even feel like their slot signings. It was almost as if this team was being built for someone else. Personally, that is a huge mystery for me, because the Liverpool board is always meticulous and data-driven in their recruitments. If I wear my conspiracy hat, then I'd say this is a grand scheme to get rid of the old guard, and specifically Mo Salah. They maybe are just trying to justify it to the fans. I honestly don't know, it's all speculation. But think about this. How would a data-driven club replace Arnold with Frimpong? Weird, right? I'll leave the answer to you. But for me, these signings were made to start the post-Salah era. Not by any means made to complement him on the pitch, but rather replace him at some point. And yes, Salah is a 100% right to feel scapegoated. But he doesn't have the right to word it like he did. What he said was not entirely wrong, but some of the things he said were simply outrageous. It's like he bought himself a one-way ticket out of Anfield and simultaneously gave Arne Slot a thread to hang by. The whole city were part of a huge magic trick. The underperforming manager, who has one of the best squads under his disposal, got off the hot seat because of Mo Salah's outrageous interview. Everyone at the club is backing him after there were shouts for his sacking just a couple of days ago. And then came the Inter Milan win, which might be a turning point for Slot and Liverpool, although it wasn't the most convincing of performances. The new diamond system is showing promise, but it is yet to face a real challenge. If you ask me, I'd say there's a very low percentage that Mo might be back in that team under Slot. And more importantly, I would lean towards the possibility that both Mo and Slot are being pushed out one after another by the board. Critics are pointing to Salah's form. They say he has only scored 5 goals in his last 21 games. They say he is finished. They say his legs are gone, just a luxury player who doesn't work hard enough. But that is a lazy analysis. It ignores the context. An attacker cannot score if he does not get the ball. The service to Salah has completely dried up because the system is broken. No player can succeed in that environment. They cut off his wings when they let go of Trent without properly replacing him. I'm not saying that he's playing well by any means. I'm just saying that Salah is definitely not the problem. If you look anywhere on the pitch, you'd only see underperforming players. But only one man has been benched 3 games in a row. How about looking over to the left flank? Didn't Chiesa earn his right to replace Cody Gakpo? I believe he did. Yet Cody is starting every game, and we're seeing no improvements. Salah still has elite quality. You can see it in the flashes. He still finds the killer pass. He still scares defenders just by standing on the pitch. Historically, players like Salah bounce back the moment the environment changes. If you take the handcuffs off, the magic returns. But football is a ruthless business. If Liverpool keeps sliding down the table, if the toxicity continues to spread, the club will have to make brutal decisions in January. And unfortunately for Arne Slot and the board, they are the architects of this environment. The truth is messy. The fan base is divided. Civil wars are breaking out on social media between fans who want to stay loyal to their title-winning manager and fans who are backing their club legend over their coach. The media narrative right now is that the manager has lost the room and Salah is the selfish devil who did an unforgivable sin. If the next days do not produce a miracle, if there isn't a sudden, drastic improvement in performance and body language, and if Salah and Slot don't miraculously find a way to reconciliate quickly, then Arne Slot will have to make an impact soon, or he'll get the sack. And the Egyptian king won't book a flight back to Liverpool after AFCON. The Leeds draw was the warning shot. The Salah interview was the direct hit. The ship is taking on water, and the captain is freezing at the wheel. Can Liverpool bounce back? Yes, but under the current regime, that looks impossible. The toxicity is too deep, the damage is done. So expect turbulence in the coming days. Expect the board to hold emergency meetings. Expect the press to sharpen their knives even further, but mostly expect a reaction. Because you cannot keep a giant down forever. When the dust settles and the changes are made, there will be a hell of a story to tell about the redemption of this team. But for Arne Slot and for Mo Salah, the story may be ending. The manager isn't just under pressure. He isn't just facing a crisis. Arne Slot is screwed. Or at least he was. Until Mo Salah gave him one last lifeline with his outburst. Do you think he could turn things around in the coming weeks? Or do you think Salah just delayed the inevitable? And most importantly, do you share my feeling of a conspiracy being held upstairs? Was that assist against Brighton and that slow walk in front of the cop the last we'll see of Mo in a Liverpool shirt?